Welcome back to Insightful Drives. Today, we are taking a joyride in one of South Africa's most controversial townships, Alexandra. Some call it Gomorrah, but most affectionately call it Alex. Anyway, welcome to Alexandra Township, one of the most vibrant and historical areas in South Africa. Today, we're taking you on a journey through the heart of Alex, as the locals affectionately call it. From its rich history to the notable figures who call this place home, and its complex relationship with neighboring Sandton. Join us as we explore the essence of Alexandra Township. Founded in 1912, Alexandra Township is one of Johannesburg's oldest townships. Its origins date back to when a white farmer decided to sell small plots of land to black people, a rare opportunity during an era when racial segregation policies were starting to take root in South Africa. This marked the beginning of Alex as a predominantly black community. Please do not be deceived by the calmness you see today. It is a public holiday in South Africa, which means activity is low as people are not preparing to go to either school or work. The streets of Alex are relatively quiet today. Over the decades, Alexandra became a focal point in the struggle against apartheid. The township saw numerous protests and uprisings, most notably the 1986 Alexandra Six-Day War, where residents clashed with police in a fight against oppressive laws. This period solidified Alexandra's place in the history books as a symbol of resistance and resilience. Alexandra's history is deeply intertwined with the struggle for freedom in South Africa. It has produced numerous activists and leaders who played significant roles in the anti-apartheid movement. Speaking of notable figures, Alexandra has been home to several influential South Africans. Hugh Masekela, the world-renowned jazz musician, hails from Alex. His music not only entertained but also inspired many during the dark days of apartheid. Another notable resident is Nelson Mandela, who briefly lived here in the early 1940s before he became the iconic leader we know today. Alexandra is also famously known as the birthplace of amapiano, a genre of music that blends deep house, jazz, and lounge sounds. Amapiano has taken the world by storm, and its roots can be traced back to the streets of Alex. Notable artists like Kabza De Small and Mr. Jazzic, Reese, Zuma, and Buster 9-9, who have become global sensations, hail from this very township. Their music captures the essence of the township's vibrant spirit and creative energy. However, alongside its rich cultural heritage and vibrant community, Alexandra grapples with significant social ills that impact its economy. High levels of crime and unemployment continue to plague the township, creating a challenging environment for residents. Many young people struggle to find jobs, leading to widespread economic hardship and perpetuating a cycle of poverty. The paradox in Alexandra, often referred to as the Alexandra paradox, lies in the stark contrast between extreme poverty and wealth within a very close geographical area. Alex is one of the poorest urban areas in South Africa. It is characterized by high levels of unemployment, inadequate housing, and limited access to basic services. However, it is located just a few kilometers away from Sandton, one of the wealthiest areas in Johannesburg, and often referred to as the richest square mile in Africa. Sandton is home to luxury hotels, upscale shopping centers, and the headquarters of major corporations. This proximity highlights the stark socioeconomic inequalities present in the country. The paradox is intensified by the visual and experiential juxtaposition of these two areas. On one side, residents of Alexandra face daily struggles with poverty, overcrowding, and poor infrastructure, while on the other, Sandton showcases opulence, modernity, and significant economic activity. This contrast underscores broader issues of inequality, historical segregation, and the challenges of post-apartheid economic redistribution in South Africa. Please do not be deceived by the calmness you see today. It is a public holiday in South Africa, which means activity is low as people are not preparing to go to either school or work. The streets of Alex are relatively quiet today. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Alexandra is one of the most densely populated areas in South Africa. With a population estimated to be over 700,000 people living in an area of just 6.91 square kilometers, the township faces significant challenges. Overcrowding leads to inadequate housing, strained infrastructure, and limited access to basic services such as water, electricity, and sanitation. Inadequate housing is a pervasive issue here. Many residents live in informal settlements with makeshift homes that lack proper sanitation and safety measures. Overcrowding has led to buildings being constructed on walkways, forcing pedestrians to navigate narrow, unsafe passages. The lack of bylaw enforcement exacerbates these problems. Buildings encroach on public spaces, and without proper regulation, infrastructure continues to degrade. Exposed sewer water running down the streets is a common sight, posing serious health risks to the residents. Despite its rich history and cultural significance, Alexandra is often seen as a controversial township. The reasons are multifaceted. One glaring contrast is its proximity to Sandton. Just a few kilometers separate the opulence of Sandton from the underdeveloped streets of Alexandra. This stark disparity highlights the ongoing issues of economic inequality in South Africa. There have been various efforts to improve the lives of people in Alexandra over the years. Some of the notable initiatives include Alexandra Renewal Project ARP, launched in 2001. This multi-million rand initiative aimed to upgrade infrastructure, improve housing, create job opportunities, and enhance the overall living conditions in Alexandra. The project focused on building new housing units, improving public services, and developing local economic activities. Housing development. Numerous housing projects have been initiated to replace informal settlements with formal housing. These projects were aimed to provide residents with better living conditions and access to basic amenities such as water, electricity, and sanitation. Infrastructure improvements efforts have been made to upgrade roads, water supply, sewage systems, and public transportation in Alexandra. The big question is that all enough? These improvements are intended to enhance mobility, reduce flooding, and improve access to essential services. Economic development programs have been implemented to stimulate local economic development. These include skills training, support for small businesses, and initiatives to attract investment to the area. Education and health initiatives. Investments have been made in improving educational facilities and healthcare services in Alexandra. New schools and clinics have been built, and existing ones have been upgraded to better serve the community. Non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and community-based organizations, CBOs, have been active in Alexandra, working on issues such as youth development, women's empowerment, and community safety. Despite these efforts, challenges remain, including corruption, bureaucratic inefficiencies, and the scale of need in the area. Progress has been made, but there is still a long way to go to fully address the socioeconomic disparities and improve the quality of life for all residents of Alexandra. With that said, I'll remain quiet and let you enjoy the rest of the video before concluding. Alexandra Township is more than just a place on a map. It's a living, breathing testament to South Africa's history, its struggles, and its enduring spirit. As we conclude our drive through Alex, we are reminded of the importance of acknowledging and addressing the inequalities that still exist and celebrating the rich cultural tapestry that makes Alexandra so unique. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Alexandra Township. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more explorations into the heart of South Africa's most iconic locations. Until next time, stay curious and compassionate.